Alrighty, welcome everyone. This is going to be the group reveal for the CSL's inaugural season, round of 32. I am TB Ham. I want this overlay to stop doing what it's doing right now. So once again, it's showing everybody what your real name is, but I hope that's okay. With me, there it goes away. With me, I do have G-Dog Casey. He'll be one of the main casters for the CSL, for this season at least. So he's going to be here talking about the groups with me.
Yeah, hey, how's it going, guys? I am so excited for CSL. As soon as I heard you were putting this together, I was like, that's an amazing idea. Do it right now. So yeah, I'm happy to be a part of it, and looking forward to reveal these groups and see what we have.
Yeah, it's a lot of players have actually. I was really happy with the turnout for the qualifiers. I think outside of the, we have 28 people who are already qualified. 57 other people tried to qualify. So there's 57 people who tried playing for this event and didn't make it in. So it's a pretty impressive number, at least to start off with. But yeah, we have the groups set up finally. Not finally. I had them set up for a couple of days now, but I've been keeping them mostly secret. I think there's two other people that know right now, and one of them is talking with me right here, and the other person is sworn to secrecy. So no one else should know what's going on. He only knows because he helped me set up the groups too. So yeah, should be a good time. Hopefully there's a couple of groups of deaths, and people will be able to talk about these for a little bit. So
yeah, for sure.
Go ahead and get in with our first group, starting off from Group A. Group number A. This group's going to be playing on February 15th. It's going to be Sunday. This is the first NA group. And it's going to be Purge from All Inspiration. We have True Edge from Team Bearsloths. Doohickey is the captain, actually, of House of Renegades. And then the captain of Guns N' Roaches, Ninkazi. So I think one of the few groups we actually have all three races in. So that's cool to see. It looks like at first glance, it's a pretty even group. Not sure what you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, I know a couple of these players. Purge is All-In's sort of Protoss sniper, so I think he's going to be pretty happy to have Doohickey in this group with him, another Protoss player. But that being said, I've seen Doohickey play before as well, and he actually, one of the few players I've managed to see best Canary in a big sort of series on ASL. I actually got to cast that, and Doohickey came out on top. So he's got the ability to make adjustments and come back strong. Ninkazi, I saw a few of his games, and he's a really stylistic player, I think. He has these nice builds he likes to do, and he's refined them to the point of them being really well done and hard to stop, even if you know they're coming. True Edge is the one player I'm a little bit less sure on. I think I saw him... I don't want to make a mistake and say who I think I saw him play against, but I did cast one of his games, and I think he ended up going down in that one.
Yeah, all these players, I think Purge is probably the newest player to the CTL itself. I think the rest of them have been around for a while. I think Purge may have joined last season at some point. I don't even know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sometime in the middle of season 7, I think. Yeah. And he's made a pretty good showing so far, and he's always good with our teammates and practicing and stuff like that. So he's an active StarCraft 2 player for sure, and I think he can do well in this group.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and ask the question: what two players you see getting out of this group?
Off the top, it's I think Ninkazi's going to come through, and it's really a toss up between Doohickey and Purge. But since Purge is the Protoss sniper, I think I'll put Purge in number 2.
Yeah, I'm pretty much similar. I think Ninkazi would come out in first, and then it's going to be between Doohickey and Purge, who can actually handle the PvP better. We'll have to go from there. So that's
going to be good, though.
Yeah, it'll be a fun time. That'll be on February 15th. All these NA groups will be at 8 p.m. Eastern, so the dates I give out, of course, they'll be in other places too soon enough. But yeah, February 15th, it's the first NA group. Just want to get into Group B. Casey, go ahead and list these names down.
All right, Group B hype. We are starting off with Jacobus from Team All In. He's going to be playing random during this tournament, so that's going to be pretty exciting. Maverick from Team Formless, who is a Zerg player. We also have P. Sosa from Team All In, pretty well-known player across CTL. He's in all the tournaments, and he's placing pretty high in those. And Harrow from Team Flare Gaming, a Protoss player who I've seen a couple matches of, and he looks pretty damn good too.
Yeah, Harrow, I think, qualified in the first qualifier, the very first one we had for the North America server. And I was really honestly surprised. I didn't know the name, which is, for me, that says something. I usually know most of the players who are in the CTL. And I'm pretty sure Harrow is one of Flair's aces, and he's definitely done pretty well for himself, considering all things considered. So I'll be intrigued to see how he does against this group. And Jacobus, I mean, he's been Masters a few times, but he's only been Masters as Terran, and if he's going to be playing random throughout here, it's going to be a little bit more difficult of a ride for him, depending on his other races. And I know he's taken a bit of a break as well recently, so he hasn't been playing a ton, at least not the way he has been previous seasons. So that on top of playing basically 2 new races should be maybe a little bit rough for him there. But we'll probably give the edge to Jacobus in this group, and poor Maverick. I think he's the only gold player who made it through to the round of 32, but that's what you get when you're the only one of only 2 people who showed up to every single qualifier. So congrats to him. But this group's gonna be pretty rough for him.
Yeah,
but I mean, I want to say he took a game off someone that's really, really good too. So he can pull something out. We'll have to see what he decides to prepare for this. So excited to see how that goes down. But I think for getting out of this group, I'm going to say probably Jacobus, and sorry Pierre, but I have to go Harrow. I think Harrow will come out.
Yeah, that's a pretty good prediction. P. Sosa, he practices hard for tournaments though.
Yeah.
He's going to be looking and he's going to see who the races in this group. Obviously, Jacobus playing random. You never know. I've seen Jacobus play Protoss before, and he's got some pretty beastie builds for Protoss, but I've never ever seen him play Zerg. So who knows? What if he gets Zerg almost every game, like some other players I know of, and he may have a hard time there. So if that happens, then I would put P. Sosa up in the top 2. But Harrow played really well as well. So yeah, it's tough to really make a decision there. That's going to be a group to look out for, I think. I think someone in this group has the potential to go almost all the way.
Yeah, for sure. If they actually make it out of the group, that is. So there is that. That group's going to be on February 16th. That's going to be Monday night, not right after, but the day after the Group A. So Group C coming up. It's going to be on February 19th. That's going to be Thursday, if I know how to work days correctly. We have Protoss player from All In, Retro, then another All In player, Terran Canary, the Reaper King himself. Then a
Yep.
Protoss from Formless Gaming. It's Renjin. He's actually on Miraculous Gaming now, actually in game, but he does still play for Formless in the CTL. And then a really, really new person. He just came to the league probably 2 weeks ago, playing for Team Composite, is Zerg player Nefarious.
Okay, cool. This group is going to be awesome to watch as well because Canary's in it, and I hate to. I only know so much about Canary because he's on my team, and I've casted games by him all over the place, and he's in almost every tournament as well, just like P. Sosa. So everybody by this point should know Canary's play. But the funny thing is, even if you know what type of player he is, he's going to be incredibly hard to go up against because he's got 10 different builds against every race that he's going to throw at you. So I got to give Canary the number 1 slot here. The rest of the players, to be honest, I don't know very well, including Retro, who is on Team All In. I haven't seen too many games by him. So, and with Nefarious, I don't even know what league he is, so I can't say too much about him either.
Nefarious, he's Diamond, yeah.
Okay, all right.
He made it through off of points, but he only played, I think, 2 qualifiers, but he made the last round of one of the qualifiers and then wasn't able to play in, I think, only one more qualifier. But he still made it through on points, so he did pretty well in the first one. I think he actually lost to Harrow in the first qualifier, so that's if my memory is correct, which is probably not at all. But that's there, and yeah, like you said, Canary definitely has an edge just because the way he prepares for groups like this. But Renjin is really, really good.
He is good. He's the all-in killer in the qualifiers. He knocked me out twice, which isn't really saying much, to be honest. But he also knocked out a couple other all-in players. So he's a solid Protoss player, and I'd have to say, based on my knowledge, I'd put him as number 2, just because I've actually seen him play.
Yeah. I think I'm going to say Nefarious and Renjin come out of this group. Sorry, all-in players,
what?
but I know, right? I can't pick either of them. I look at Renjin. I know what kind of player he is. I've seen Nefarious play a little bit. And I know he won his match this week for the CTL as well. So he started off pretty strong already. So we'll see. Sorry, Canary.
Yeah.
Angry in chat. What can I do? What can I say? But
he's going to show you. He's going to bring his sickest builds, and he's going to.
No one knows. It's actually the reverse psychology. I just want these guys to actually practice and do well. It's totally my plan. So that group's going to be on February 19th. It's going to be a Thursday night. Our next group is going to be the 20th, the night after, on Friday. This should be a good group.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one as well. Pretty much everything. I'm so pumped for this whole tournament that I just want to see them all.
Yeah. So go ahead and introduce our players for this group.
All right, so for Group D, we're going to start off with House Peddler from Guns N' Roaches. We also have Silky from All In, a brand new player to the team. We have Ambrosia from Team Unrivaled, and we have Tux from Team Composite. Rounding out that group, we got 2 Terrans, a random... Sorry, I should say House Peddler, Terran, Silky, random, Ambrosia, Zerg, and Tux is Terran.
Tux Tux qualified in the first qualifier, so he's just been kind of chilling for a little while. So, but still making it in on the first qualifier, which was probably one of the harder ones to get through on. I think maybe the third qualifier was probably the hardest one to actually qualify through, because there was a lot of players who actually were trying that last chance. And there was a lot of really good players left over. I think that was the one that House actually made it through in. And he's also a former Masters player. He had Masters last season. So he's definitely pretty powerful. And Silky, seen a little bit of his play, got to cast him a little bit in the global qualifier, and he's pretty nuts. He's got some pretty intense builds. So we'll have to see how he does in a group like this where he's able to prepare his matches. I'm stoked for that. And kind of sad that two of the CSL helpers are actually in this group, Ambrosia and Tux. Tux, the guy who's been making all the graphics, and Ambrosia, one of the refs / probably streamers coming up. I'm actually doing group stages, so we'll see if they can both get through or one or the other. But I think in this group, looking at House Peddler and Silky to pull through.
Yeah, I have not had the pleasure of seeing Silky play, but as a random player with crazy builds, you got to give him the edge a little bit. House Peddler, was he former Masters before as well?
Yeah, last season he was.
Yeah, so him and I got to cast Tux play, and Tux has insane micro. He just out-microed everybody. I casted him playing in the first qualifier, so he's really good. So I'm going to have to go with House Peddler and Tux there, the 2 Terran players. But I'd like to be surprised there. The Zerg Ambrosia, I'd be happy to see him make it through as well, and obviously Silky. So another pretty close group there.
Yeah, I know Tux has been one of Composite's ace players. I know last season he had quite a few clutch wins, admin, power abuse, being able to see their weekly threads when they have players of the week, and I think Tux won a few of them just from pulling out insane wins in his matches. So it's definitely a pretty powerful group here. That one is.
Sorry, is it worth noting that he's the one who's helped us out with all these overlays and
already said that? You gotta pay attention.
I must have spaced out.
So that group's going to be on the 20th, and our final NA group is going to be on the 21st. It's going to be Saturday night, and our players Wuggy from All Inspiration, Terran player. We have Guns N' Roaches is Trip. He's a Zerg player, and then Unrivaled Blaze, former Lucky 13 player. Actually, yeah, former Lucky 13 player. And then Unrivaled's Barcode Zerg player, he's been around in the CTL for a really long time, and he's always been playing really, really well in these kind of open tournaments. So it's no surprise seeing his name in this group.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know too much about most of these players. Woogie has been part of All In for a little while, and I know he had some clutch games against us in Season 7 when he was playing for Confed. So I know he's a good player and expect him to do well in this tournament. Blaze is my favorite for this group, though, because I got to cast him play in one of the qualifiers, and he really, really impressed me with the crispness of his Terran builds. So I'm really looking forward to see what he's got against a couple more Terrans and a Zerg player in this group, because his Terran opening against Protoss was really, really smooth and really made me appreciate Terran a lot more. So he's my favorite coming out of that group.
Yeah, I think the Barcode coming out is probably going to be my favorite for that group, and then it's, to me, a toss-up between Wuggy and Blaze. Trip, I was actually really surprised seeing how well he played. I think he's in Plat currently, at least, but he played in most of the qualifiers and played against some really, really tough opponents, but it was always really close series. I think it was always 2-1 that he ended up losing in, but he ended up qualifying off of points. But definitely, I think this is going to be a rough group. But he's shown he can actually make something happen, and of course, in a situation like this, when you have a chance to actually prepare for all your opponents, it's completely different than going into a tournament where you're not sure who you're playing until 5 minutes before it happens. So being able to prep is completely different. So it'll be cool to see how these players go. handle all
I
of
was
that.
going to say that about the gold player you mentioned earlier too, because he can just sit there. Like, who knows? He might spend this next week or two just practicing super, super hard against the races in his group, and you can get better in that amount of time. So, yeah, I hope he tries hard and makes an upset here.
Yeah, definitely. So once again, that one's going to be on the 21st of February. And now we're going to get into our two European groups. These are both actually going to be done next week. Start off on February 10th. If you go ahead and introduce Group F for us, Casey.
Yeah, in Group F, we start off with Roxas from Team Unrivaled. He is a Zerg player from Germany. We have, I hope I say this right, I want to say Zlog from Team Unrivaled. That's how I say it in my head. A Zerg player from the Netherlands. We have Smiley B from Team Composite, who is also a Zerg player, this time from Sweden. And we have BCX, who is from Team Bearsloss, and he is a Terran. And right off the bat, he's got to be my favorite there after just coming off a pretty solid win in the Couchies League. And he beat some really hard players in that tournament, so he looked really solid as well.
BCX has been destroying a lot of people recently. So it's definitely no surprise seeing him making it through here. He qualified in the actual EU qualifier, not the one that only 4 people showed up to, so he did have to play his way in, so that's good to see for him. So he's definitely, I think, favorite in this group to go through, and then the 3 Zerg players going to duke it out, and they're all relatively even. Sorry, Xylo, I'm going to have to say that you're probably the lowest of these 3. And I think coming out in second, it might be, I think my guess is going to be for Roxas. He's been a pretty strong player for Unrivaled for a little while. I think just kind of depending on how much he actually decides to practice and actually play, if he'll actually will show up as well. So that'll be nice to see if he actually shows up.
Yeah, and I mean, you could technically say that about anybody here, but a lot of people have like that natural StarCraft 2 talent where they can just sleep all week and then wake up and win the first CSL. So we'll see about that one. But yeah, I like your predictions there, and I'm pretty much agreeing fully with them.
Yeah, so that's going to be on February 10th. That will be at 8 p.m. CET, which is 2 p.m. Eastern. So if you are home during the week, if you are in America or home during the week, it's going to be in the afternoon for y'all, but it will be actually in the evening for our European players to actually give them a chance to play at a time that isn't awful for them. And going to get into our final group. It's going to be on the 12th of February, so it's also going to be next week. It's going to be next Thursday at the same time. We have from the Bearsloss, our lone Terran in this group is going to be the M. And then a Zerg player from All In Stark, another Zerg from Team Unrivaled, KO Wally, another Lucky 13, what's the word I'm looking for, Prodigy or something. And then our final player, or Zerg from CT6, 1 HP for the win. So we got 3 people who are actually in Great Britain right now. KO Wally's actually American, but he's studying abroad, so we're letting him play in the EU region for this one. And then DM is actually from Poland. So pretty close spread on these guys. Hopefully KOL's internet will work for him. I know he was having some trouble during the qualifiers with a really bad VPN or something. So hopefully he can get that sorted out. But it's a pretty strong group as well. I think definitely for all of the EU, both the EU groups, it's going to be who has the better ZVZ than the other person, because DM, he gets to prepare for TVZ. That's it. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Gotta say, it's kind of nice.
Same for Bearsloss in the other round, or BCX in the other group as well. I didn't realize that at the time, but yeah, their TVZ is going to be pretty on point for these groups. For predictions here, it's going to be okay. So Stark has just recently switched back from Terran to Zerg, and he is practicing a lot. I would hope it would feel like he's getting better and better every day, and he has a really, really strict practice routine, as well as replay analysis routine. So when I know somebody who works that hard to get better at a game, I have to give him an edge. Not saying these other players aren't doing the same thing, but just personally, I know how much work Stark puts into it. 1 HP for the win. Didn't he come second place in the CT6 sort of final weekly tournament thing against P. Sosa?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so going that far in that tournament and doing that well, he's going to be my second choice for who's going to make it through in that group.
I think Stark, he just puts in so much work. He plays a lot of StarCraft, puts in a lot of work. I think seeing him come out in first is going to be no surprise. So long as his ZVZ is on point, I know it's been a bit of a struggle for him, but speaking of 1 HP for the win, Stark game 1 HP played in the EU qualifier, and they played in the first round, and one game took 55 minutes because they decided to make Swarm Host, because one guy got behind and he made Swarm Host. And the other guy took a bad engagement, so he had to make Swarm Host. So that game lasted for almost an hour.
We might see that again, and that was a
Yeah,
really exciting series. It went all 3 games,
that
and
was a lot
the
of fun.
last game was a really cool Ling Bane opener that they traded back and forth for like 10 minutes, and it was pretty cool. Stark managed to pull out a win, but I mean anyone could have won that game, so that's what's going to be pretty neat about Group G there.
Yeah, I think second place, man. Depending on what 1HP's how 1HP is doing and how KOL's internet is doing, I want to say KOL is going to make it through in second, just because. So I think
Okay,
just because I think that's a possibility. So this group
fair
will be
enough.
February 12th. That's going to be next Thursday. Um, so yeah, I guess that's actually we have one more group. Group H does exist. That's actually going to be the C region, but their qualifier is actually in what time is it? It's 7:30 right now, so it's in 7.5 hours. That qualifier, I believe. So we do have 4 more people to pick up for Group H, but that will be a little bit later tonight. If you are still around, that will be casted. Because I hate sleeping, so I'm going to be casting that at 3 a.m. local for me, but should be a good time. Hopefully, we have I
That's
think at least 5 players will be there for that, if not 6. Who will have to wait
Okay,
and see.
so it's not a factor of just qualifying and just making or just signing up and just
No.
making.
It's going to be a round robin. I'm going to do a round robin, just like the old GSL up and down groups. It's going to
Sweet.
decide who gets in for the C group, and that's going to be Group H, and we'll decide what time to put that group at a later time. But we wanted to get these groups out there so players could start preparing
Yep.
for their matches and know what day they had to play. So yeah, looking forward to everything.
Yeah,
um,
man, this is going to be so cool, especially once we start getting towards the end, like round of
oh yeah.
16, round of 8, to see who makes it through. We're going to see some pretty sweet storylines and lots of bragging rights, too, as we go through. So I'm really, really pumped, and I'm happy that I can be here with you guys to help out and get to watch a lot of these games.
Actually, that kind of reminds me. Already announced one of them. We do have some coaches lined up for prizes for this. We don't have much in the way of monetary prize pool at the moment. It's currently at $20, which is cool. I'm good with 0. That's fine. But we have picked up a couple coaches. We have a Zerg coach already. That's going to be actually Tang from All Inspiration. He's offered to donate some coaching for either the winner or the top Zerg player, top Zerg finisher. And then we just picked up a Protoss who's going to coach for us as well. It's going to be Gemini from Integrity Gaming, I want to say. I'm not necessarily sure.
Okay.
XIG in game. He's also one of the mods on all things Protoss. So if you do know those guys, if you see them streaming or anything else, do go watch them, say thanks, etc. It's really cool for them to hook that up for us. And thanks to Danimal from I think CT6 for hooking us up with Gemini. That's really cool
Yeah,
to get
for
that
sure.
going.
We're in talks with other people as well, I think, right? But we just haven't
Yeah.
received any more word.
We're kind
we'll
of waiting. We are waiting. Yeah. So that's gonna be it for this. At the moment, I'm just gonna throw on music for a little bit, as well as the full group image, and that's gonna be it for this. And once again, first group is gonna be next Tuesday. It's gonna start at 2 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. CET, and hope to see you then. Thanks, Casey, for doing this with me. Short little period of fun. No problem.
Yeah, of course, man. I'm happy to do this. And again, really excited for these groups. And I think they turned out really well. I think they're pretty even overall, and people are going to be happy with them.
Awesome. All right. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in.
See ya.